from Carolina Kid News, and we are privileged to be joined by Donald Cureton. He is running for Mecklenburg County District Judge. Thank you for being here with us today.
My pleasure.
Now, you're running for the District Judge. What are some of your plans that you will have, your plans overall, if you become judge?
Well, first of all, I want to make sure that I change the perception of the court system. I think a lot of people have negative views about what goes on, and some people feel as if some of the judges are not fair and impartial. And I want to make sure that all people have their voices heard and all people are treated equitably so that their day in court is reconciled.
You know, there's a lot of repeat offenders here in Charlotte. There's a lot of jails that are being overcrowded. Do you have any solutions to maybe solve this problem, and specifically on repeat offenders?
Well, I think, first of all, when you look at repeat offenders, you do have to judge each case individually. And so if that particular case warrants that person going to jail, I certainly believe that the jail is the appropriate measure under those circumstances. However, there's other people sometimes that have other issues that cannot be resolved by simply jail time. It may be some substance abuse and other things that can be better served in other areas for rehabilitation. But again, you still have to look at each case individually. And furthermore, sometimes judges can't do all the things that people would love for them to do because of the structured sentencing guidelines in our North Carolina general statute. So I think the most important thing is for the community to get involved, understand how the court system really works so that they can have their voice heard as well, and to be able to understand why people are going in and out of jail and actually try to address those concerns.
That's very important, and I'm sure, you know, if you're running for any office, it's quite a big job, you know, from any perspective of it. But what were some of the things that made you want to run?
Well, I initially did not think I would be a judge, and I initially wanted to be an entertainment lawyer when I first started practicing law. That's where all of my internships were geared while I was in law school. And I started taking cases and realized that I had a gift to be able to connect with individuals that I was representing. And I had developed a very good rapport with DAs, police officers, etc. And it became more apparent that my gifts could be better served as a judge as opposed to being an attorney. And I believe I have the type of abilities that could really make some true changes to the individuals' lives that come through the court system.
Now, you just mentioned that you had a gift to kind of connect and do that. What were some of the things that, you know, how do you think that you're fit for this job?
Well, I'll give you an example. About a month ago, I had a young man who was a client, 18 years old, a young black male, and was in trouble for doing some very negative things while at school. And his mother had shipped him off to a boarding school in another state. And he was doing a little bit better, but I could tell during the conversation between he and his mother in the courtroom lobby, or courthouse lobby, that a lot had not been resolved. And I took him to the back room, and I had a nice little conversation with him for about 10 to 15 minutes. And at that time, he realized to some degree the error of his ways. He told me that he did not believe that he was going to live to see the age of 25. He said, I am 18 and I'm in the 10th grade. There is nothing left for me to do or to accomplish. And he said he would prefer to just plead guilty to the crime because he did not foresee himself becoming the president of the United States or having any other type of job that would require a clean record. But after our conversation, he came out. He apologized to the officer. He apologized to the administrator for which he had a negative attitude towards. And he also apologized to his mother for his behavior. And his mother, I could tell, was very emotional when she spoke to me because she asked me, what did I say to him? What did I do to make him change his mind? And I told her that sometimes it takes different people to be able to express to that individual the error of their ways and have them understand how they can change their lives to be better people. And I explained to him, you may not be the president of the United States, but I care about him and I want him to be a productive citizen and be able to take care of himself.
We just want to get to know you, a little bit about you, what you're doing, and what you've got planned.
Well, I'm a relatively young man. I'm 32 years old. I grew up on this side of town and went to Hickory Grove Elementary right down the road. and went to Hawthorne Junior High School, and I went to Garinger High School, where I graduated in 1996. I then left there and went to Winston-Salem State University on a full academic scholarship, and after that went to the Howard University School of Law in Washington, D.C., where I received my Juris Doctorate.
Now, a little bit about your parents, maybe your background, your family. Can you
Yes,
tell us
I'm married, have been, my anniversary is actually next Saturday. My wife and I will be married for 6 years. And my parents are still in the area, still live in the same household that I grew up in. They're now both retired. My mother was a kindergarten teacher for 31 years through CMS, and my father worked for Park and Recreation Department. I also have 2 younger siblings who, one is actually teaching English in China, my brother, and he's been in South Korea for 2 years and is now in China. And my sister is the secretary or interim director of judicial affairs for Winston-Salem State University. And all of us have advanced degrees, so we truly believe in education. And when we say my father has an advanced degree as well, because he went to the Army after he graduated from college.
Now, you just mentioned advanced degree, and you also said that your mom was a kindergarten teacher at Charlotte Mecklenburg schools. We all know that they're just struggling right now. Where do you stand on education here in Charlotte?
Well, I truly believe that education is important, and I know there are some things that I can't discuss as a judicial candidate, but I truly believe that we have to do what is in the best interest of our children. My wife actually is a teacher as well, and she teaches in CMS, and she understands the struggles of teaching today's youth, but she also understands the gifts that a lot of the kids have, and she really wants to help develop those. And she truly believes that the public school system has that opportunity to help develop our young minds for the future.
We just wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate you having me on today's show.